So long story short, just to kind of give, for lack of a better term, just give kind of updates openly. First of all, we have had some housework done because, as I've mentioned before, we had our dishwasher leak in November, and so we had to get the floor replaced and everything. And finally, we got the floor replaced and all that. Now it's a matter of getting the furniture back in here, and that'll help me immensely for multiple reasons. That said, part of the reason that I've just been more quiet in general is, for one thing, of course, they don't have the webcam upload technology like they used to, so of course you can't. Oh, they're listening, you can tell. Anyway, we have that reminder set for them every day at 5:30. Anyway, that said, it's just been a rough couple of months, and then some other events and incidents have occurred. And I didn't really talk about this openly before, but now I think that because I'm, for lack of a better term, out of the eye of it, I think that I can talk about this. I am in a position where, of course, because of my disability, I'm on SSI benefits, still looking for like a full-time job, etc. And I'm also looking to become a full-time author. Part of the reason that I write is to help others with their searches in terms of genealogy or what have you. And that was one of the reasons that I wrote the book about my cousin Rokla. Well, long story short, I was asking the Lithuanian archives to, I'm trying to put this very carefully and not just kind of spout off whatever, but I was asking the Lithuanian archives to find a birth record based on information that I already had, and they said, okay, here's the information I have, can this be confirmed, etc., etc., etc. Well, this had been going on for months, and one of the archivists, not only was he or she really nasty to me, and of course, like I said, I'm on SSI benefits, so I'm not in the best economic situation in the world. He or she literally basically tried to extort me. And then I Googled his or her name to see if other people had been having problems with him or her. Turns out that one of the emails that I had written to him or her got published on his or her Facebook page in order for him or her to try to libel me. Of course, I had to report that to the FBI because of international jurisdiction, what have you. And the worst part is, he or she might even be a distant relative based on his or her surname, because I know for a fact that one of my matriarchs shares a form of his or her surname. And I was just completely appalled. And there's been other stuff going on too. Like, even, for example, someone in a group decided to make a family tree on Jenny of my cousin Rokla just to try to intimidate me and not find answers about what was going on, because I had already blocked this person on Facebook, and he or she knew that I could see it on Jenny, so he or she was trying to intimidate me just so that I couldn't look for answers anymore. And, I mean, for people to also question my ethnicity and be like, well, you're not Jewish because of this. Well, I've had DNA matches that were lucky enough to get known and identified autosomal Jewish DNA. Not all of us got that lucky. And not only that, but I've talked about where Ancestry, for example, has an appalling pool, because not only did they not follow some standard research methods, and I had to take political research methods in college. So I know that, for example, a minimum accepted sample is 400 people, randomly selected as possible, etc. I'll get more into that later, but that said, it's just been a very rough ride just for these past couple of months for me.